Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Claribel and I'm so delighted to have you back. Today's video, I'm just going to be talking about relationships abroad, marriages within Nigerians abroad and how discouraging it is gradually becoming. And the only reason I'm talking about this, something triggered me to talk about this today, and I hope that we all relax and learn from this. We can all learn. This is a community. I don't think I'm speaking to myself. I know there's someone out there that might need to hear this, and I hope it encourages everyone out there. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. The only reason I'm talking about this, I'm doing this video today, is because I've seen that bad news runs faster than the good ones. So I hear a lot of bad marriages, bad this, bad this. It's real though, because the life abroad is quite different from the life that we were brought up in Nigeria. So people come in here with so many things that I'm going to share in this video. There are millions of marriages that are working in the diaspora. There are millions of marriages that have lasted and stood the test of time in their marriages, and they've lasted 40, 20, 30, 50, 60 years, and these are both Nigerians. So I think that the bad ones, spread faster, but they are tremendous. They are good marriages in the Western world. I feel like the bad ones are really discouraging a lot of people from going back to Nigeria to get married, and also the ones in Nigeria, it's kind of making them not want to even get married to people abroad. And I would say that before you come abroad or before you get married to someone, do your background check, ask important questions. Even at that, you never know who you come, because this is a different world entirely. So when you're choosing a spouse or you're going to settle down, do your work, do your diligent work, okay? That's all I can tell you. But it's just that it's kind of discouraging people from going back abroad, and whether we like it or not, these marriages transaction in Nigeria, it's almost like another way that we give back to our community. A lot of men come here and they just want that Nigerian taste, because they have seen how their parents grew in marriage, how in their mind most Nigerian women are very accommodating, are very respectful, are home builders, they're more patient and all of that. So a lot of men they desire to go back home to marry their kind, and whether we like it or not, that's another way of giving back, because there are a lot of people that need that opportunity to just break through in life. There are a lot of people that don't need to be here and they're extremely very successful, but there's some people that's what they need to break through in life. But with these things that are happening constantly, it is so discouraging, and people do not want to go back home to get married because of how they think that Nigerian women come here and they change completely. So it is. And also likewise the men, there are men in Nigeria that women have gone to Nigeria to bring here, and in fact I've heard so many stories about that. I've seen one happen. I've experienced one here with someone that I know. So I could speak of that they have different intentions going home, and they have different intentions, just like women. When they come here with different intentions. So we've also seen women go to Nigeria to bring their men, and the men come here and be like a complete disappointment, change from the person that they were or portray in Nigeria. So it's really scary when people don't trust going back home. So people will decide that, I might as well just marry here. It is what it is. What's the point going on with so much expectation that you're going to get a homey wife, you're going to get a good person or a good man, that sees that you guys are from the same culture, you guys see eye to eye in things, you guys are focused in life, you're family oriented, but only to get here and get disappointed. Marriages differ for each person. What works for A might not work for B. A situation might be different for B situation. So you really cannot tell, what goes wrong or what triggers this attitude or why. But the things that I am about to list are things that I've found that makes diaspora marriage, looks ugly for those that the marriages or bringing your partner back from Nigeria to the abroad is not working for them. So, the first thing on my list today that I feel like is one of the biggest issues that make marriages abroad within Nigerians not work is because of wrong intentions. And so when you're going back home to get people, your intentions might be right, but the other person's intention, you never know what that person's intention is. So you're coming there with your mind and soul that you're going to meet the love of your life, start up, go there to Nigeria to pick up a woman or to pick up a man in Nigeria that you can start life with. You go on dating side, it was sweet, you guys are always calling yourself on the phone, you cannot wait to make this person the love of your life, to come here to join you so that you guys can work as a team and build empires together. But boy oh boy, your intentions are different. You're thinking long-lasting relationship, you're thinking a soulmate and a helper. The other person is thinking jackpot. Jackpot, this is my jackpot. They're just looking for a mature person, a mind that have the same mindset as they have, or the same intentions as theirs. But unfortunately, those are two different intentions, wrong intentions. And these are the reasons why when they now come here, you now realize that your own intentions was to have a wife that would help you, that would support you, that would that you guys can work together as a family and grow. But unknown to you that the other person's intention is to jackpot. And again, this does not apply to everyone, but when you hear news about all of these things, it's almost like is it really worth me going back home to get married? So if you're lucky enough to get a woman that has the same intention, or a man that has the same intentions as you, you're able to walk through the lives, because things will happen, storms will happen. But because both of you have the same intentions and not different intentions, it makes the marriages, it makes you put in the work to make sure that this marriage works. So another thing I see here that causes marriages not to work, especially for the imported ones, let me be using the word imported, is because most love here is not like real love. You know how in Nigeria, when you find love of your life, you guys will date, you're just crazy about this person. Most loves here are transactional love, and which is not really that love at first sight, love this. People have, it's almost like transactional. What can you give to me? I'm bringing you to this country. What can you do? Not everyone, I repeat, not everyone. Some people are just genuinely in love. They just want to build a family and just be happy living with this person. The reason I said that, I've had situations where this guy met this girl in Nigeria. At least he was truthful enough to tell her that, what can you do? I'm bringing you to abroad to help my life, just to help me, because I want you to be a nurse. Are you going to be a nurse or not? At least he was true about it, and he told the girl that the only way I can bring you to this country is for you to agree that as soon as you're coming to this country, you're going to be a nurse. So in such instances, those are transactional loves, and that's why I say a lot of them, they come here, the first thing they want their wife or their spouses to do is to go to nursing school. That's not real love. They don't bring you here because they love you. They want you to just be pampered as a woman, and to support you, this and so. Even with women too, when they're going to bring men, they're looking for medical doctors, they're looking for, so it's transactional, which there's nothing really bad. We have goals and visions in life. So you already planned your life. I want to marry a nurse so that in the next 10 years, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's what they think the money, where they think the money is. So you're thinking this way, like, I want to marry a nurse that so in the next 10 years, our life is gain. So it's strategic in that sense. So it's not a natural love like in Nigeria, I just love you. Some people just marry even without no job. They will marry you, they say, okay, I want you to be a wife at home, take care of the family for now till the children are grown, and this whatever plans work for your home. So this one is already giving you an ultimatum that the only reason he will bring you abroad is that you have to be a nurse. Some of us are lucky not to have this kind of ultimatum. Some of us are lucky to have people that men that will just say, I want you to do what you want to do, that they see your strengths and they encourage you to do that. So he's not bringing you here because he wants you to be, if you're not a nurse, he will not bring you. In fact, some people will come, they will start pushing their wives to be nurses or their spouses to be medical doctors. So these are transactional laws. So once now the person comes here and the people are not willing to do that, then it becomes a problem. Then it's almost like, I wasted my time, but I told you to do nursing. Then you start seeing chaos because your expectation of that person is not. So what if that person really don't want to be a nurse? Now you have to push somebody's child to go and be what they don't want to be because you want to save your marriage. And so that's where it becomes transactional. What can you give me? What can I get from you? Instead of what can we do together, you know, in our own individual goals and aspiration in life, to come together as a family and work as a team and grow together in love, you know, raise great children, and you just do things in a loving way, in a natural way, not transactional. But these are one of the reasons, the things that I've seen that are causing a lot of chaos. So another thing that I've found that is the cause of, you know, this imported marriages, while it is not so working for some people, not a lot of people, but for some people it's not working for them, the entitlement spirit. You have to, you know, you have to forever, you know, be grateful for them, because if not for them, your life will not have been the same. If not for them, you know, we'll smell the words of America, which is kind of true. But I mean, it is what it is. It was a choice for you. They didn't put a gun on your head, or they didn't tie you rope on your neck to go to Nigeria. I believe in respect. I believe that even if you do something for someone, you're kind to somebody, you're able to bring someone out of nothing to something, that doesn't mean that you owe that person. You know, you've done your part. It's now left for the person to appreciate that. People just feel entitled because they brought you to this country, so they own you. Anything they tell you, you must do. If you don't do this, they remind you of your level of poverty. They remind you, if not for them, you will not be in this place. So I owe you. Everything that you become, they have to remind you that they filed for you, they do this one for you. So it's an entitlement spirit. And if what they desire or their heart desires is not coming through, then you now see the war. You say, I'm war, I'm in the bush. And that's where back and forth issues, and if they're not careful, that will be the end of the relationship. Another reason I see that people in this country go through a lot of chaos and maybe marriages are breaking are bad company, like bad friends, bad counsels. I mean, it's everywhere, but I think it's more so here in the Western world. Like, so people compare their marriages, bad counsel for male friends. You know, you see male friends telling their friends, oh boy, no let them do this, or no let them do that, so no let them, no give them a chance. So before you know, you bring those counsels into your home. Maybe you already have a peaceful home before you have a loving family, but because your friend has said something or triggered something to your heart, you come home and you start, you know, destroying your rubbish marriage based on what you think is working for the other person, not considering that my wife is not that kind of person, my wife is not a push around, or my wife is firm, my wife is this. The same applies to men as well, women as well. You go outside, you listen to bad counsels, you know, things that are not relevant to your marriage, you bring it to your home. You know, you see other people, maybe you're the kind of person that you're very submissive, you're a good wife, a kind wife. You now see the ones that are not submissive to your husband, you bring it, you think that is a good thing, you apply to your home, and that's where chaos starts, you know. So one thing that kills marriages here are just ESAs, comparing marriages to one another, and just, you know, constantly surrounding yourself with bad counsel. You know, there's some friends, I say it with full body, there's some friends that you do not need when you're married. And it has nothing to do with anything. If you guys were good while single, but in marriage, they will not help your life. In fact, you see, marriages are supposed to be loving and loving, but because the man is surrounded with bad cancer, he will always bring that energy to the house. You know, you're looking at how the other person treats his wife, and you think that's the right way to treat their wives, and you come and try to apply the same way, which you should know that this might not work for my home. The same thing, women look at other people's marriages and compare. You're constantly comparing it to your marriage, whilst you know that in your own marriage, you're married to a very disciplined person, a principled man. You now bring the one that, you know, the man is probably softer and kind, you know, the way that he does things are quite different from the way your husband does things. You want to bring that energy to your home. It will not work. You know that you're going to have a big breakout in that marriage. So these are the things that I also see. Bad counsels, bad company, bad friendships would ruin your marriage faster than you think. Another thing that I find out that it's killing marriages abroad, especially with women, is lack of respect. One thing I love about the Indian culture, I have a lady at my job. She makes money. She makes close to 180,000 a year. But after work, when you see her running, you're, Melina, where you going? She said, I'm going home. I'm rushing home. I have to go and cook for my husband. You know, my second job, take care of my family. And she says it with so much pride. There's no shame to it. You know, this is a woman that makes money, you know. Some women never even make reach 80,000. Hey, nobody can talk to me anyhow. You know, we are now on the same. This is equality, you know. We are equal now, you know. I can't come back from work and be doing something, you know, cooking for you. No. We can't do that here. This is the Western world. Let me say, this is the Western world. We can do that, you know. You gotta cook. You gotta cook for yourself. I went to work all day, and no. You work, I work. Equality, you know, that becomes a problem in your marriage. You know, when I see this woman, I've seen we Nigerians who come here, we overdo ourselves sometimes, and this is for the women. We overdo ourselves, we lack respect. Just because you're making money, just because you're learning, there's so many things. Yes, you need to evolve, you need to grow, you know, you need to learn things, you need to learn how to communicate. You know, things about you would change, the way you think would change. But I don't think that location should change how you respect or honor your husband. We're raised in a culture where our husbands are our kings, you know, and it should not be a matter of location. And even in Nigeria now, women are beginning to do that. We're beginning to lose our culture. You see these equality things, we see it as a thing. I mean, I don't have a problem. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what should work for your home. But I've seen that most women are so shy to talk about submission in their marriages. But one thing I've seen is that we as Nigerian women will come here and, you know, we just change in terms of respecting our husbands. Like, I am a career woman. I go to work every day, but when I come back, I'm on my heels. I go to the kitchen, cook for my husband, cook for my children. It gives me joy. It doesn't matter. My husband goes to work, I go to work. Equality has nothing to do with that. It's just that I still know that my husband is the head of the home. I give him the ultimate respect. Location shouldn't change that. I don't do equality in my home. He knows his role, I know my role. You know, no matter how successful I become in life, I will always give my husband, you know, that respect. Is it that he's perfect? No. Is it that, you know, there's sometimes like, do you even deserve this respect? But I just have to respect my spouse. I was listening to I remember this lady's name, Shadi. It's, you know, I'll remember her name. I'm going to insert it because I can't remember a name off head right now, but she's one of the she's African richest woman. And I remember watching an interview where she granted an interview where she talks about she could be a boss at work, she could be anything. This is a rich woman. This is one of the richest women, African women on earth. And she said that whenever she gets home, she takes off the boss in her and she goes to her kitchen. She has a lot of servants, but nobody cooks for her husband. She submits to her husband. We are in a society where now we are ashamed to talk about submission, but that's one thing I've seen in the Western world. We're so westernized that we lack respect for our spouses, we lack respect for our husbands, and these are the reasons. No man, see, men crave, just as we crave for love and attention, men love respect. So we'll do whatever works for you, but these are the things that I found that just triggers most men. The way they say, this girl just come here, she know, they respect me again, you know, she just not honor me, she doesn't give me. So men crave for respect, men love respect. I remember, you know, sometimes my husband will talk about respect. I'm like, I'm respecting you now, but you know, that's what he wants. It makes him feel good as a man. Men cannot stand disrespect. Another issue that I've seen that is causing a lot of chaos in the Western world. Men, as much as you bring your wives here to grow, make sure that you're growing. It is okay. It's going to take me back to when I talked about transactional love. Whilst this man tells his wife that if you're not a nurse, I'll not bring you to this country. You have to be a nurse. Now, when the woman becomes a nurse, you're not doing anything for yourself. You just sit down there and want to work at Walmart or do the minimum things, you know, to make ends meet. And while your wife is a nurse, you want to drive the big cars. You want to drive this one. How about you being a nurse? It's something I wonder. Is there a reason why men don't go to nursing school. I have friends that are, their men go to nursing school as much as their women go to nursing school. It doesn't matter who makes money more than, and your husband could be making the most money. Hallelujah, you could be making the most money, but let's both of us just be intentional about our growth, to avoid see finish, to avoid, you know, all of this madness. Please make sure that you're growing yourself. Even if you bring your wife, you want your wife to be a nurse, make sure that in whatever you're doing, make sure that you're growing, that your wife is seeing you, you know, being progressive in those in your field. But I'm talking specifically to men. Before you start bringing women abroad, think about these things. Don't bring them because you want them to grow for you. You grow yourself first. Make the woman, even if a woman becomes a doctor, a woman will submit her money to a man that is responsible. You know, my husband doesn't make money more than me, but I've seen that man. He works endlessly. He's a good father. He goes out every day, even with the little. Sometimes their wives will be the ones to say, "Honey, don't do this. I don't want you doing this." No, I got to do it. It doesn't matter what their wife becomes. They swallow their pride. They are diligent to their calling. They are not just a laid back person. They just sit back and watch your wife work, and you'll be dragging money with your wife. And you take your wife money and go and buy the biggest car, and on gas you don't want to do anything. That's where, if you're unlucky to find a bad woman, they'll go pursue you, come up for house before you know. So if you're lucky to find a good one, don't take it for granted. Still make sure that you're grounded in the things that you need to do as a man. You know, these are the issues, these are the things that I see that is causing a lot of chaos. So I think these are the issues why we constantly hear marriages breaking up in the Western world, and it's kind of discouraging. There are marriages that are working. Let's live and let's love. Love is a beautiful thing. Let's be patient. We are women, let's be more submissive. There's no shame in your game. There should be no shame in your game. You know, there are men out there in Nigeria that are willing to love and be submissive and be great in their marriages. So this should not be discouraging anyone that wants that. Maybe you found someone online and your thing with the things that you hear, you're contemplating. Just make sure you do your background checks. You know, you make sure that you ask the right questions. You know, look out for red flags. It's very important. You know, and I pray that people will find genuine love and just continue to build their homes in this diaspora and in their abroad, because family is everything here, whether we like it or not. Once that family is broken, life is tough here. So ensure that you're keeping your marriages, ensure that you're keeping your home. Money is not everything. You know, be patient, be loving, be kind. I think that we've lost most of these marriages here. I've lost all of these, you know, things. Be loving, be kind, be more submissive, be more patient. You know, try to work with your partner. Don't compare your marriages, you know, because we all have different personalities and different homes. So focus on your home and continue to build it. And I pray that the Lord will continue to bless us in our marriages. And I'll see you guys. And I'm wishing for those still contemplating whether they want to go home and marry, my brothers, there's still good women in Nigeria that are willing to love you, serve you, you know, respect you, and do the right thing. I hope your intentions are also right. If these intentions are still in your mind that are listed, squash it. Just be transparent. Just let it work naturally, and I tell you, you will enjoy your marriage. Until I come your way again next week, I remain your one and only girl, Claribel. This video was longer because I wanted to explain myself, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.